Well, welcome along to the continuation of Portfolio Landlords Week here on propertytribes.com, and I'm delighted now to be joined by another portfolio landlord, Chris Ryder, and we are at John Howard's training day, and I've just collared Chris to do a quick interview because I was very interested to hear some of the things that he was saying during the training session. And Chris, first of all, welcome to Property Tribes, and tell us a little bit about your personal property journey. How have you built your portfolio?
Thanks, Vanessa. It's been an interesting day. So I've built my portfolio. I started when I was in corporate life. So I spent a number of years in corporate life, built my portfolio very slowly and in a small way. Then in November 2015, I left corporate life and with the intention to focus on it full time, which is what I've done. And so I do that with my wife. So what we've done is we've invested in HMOs. We've started with single lets and holiday lets, and that's now moved into service accommodation as well. So we've got quite a good service accommodation business. So it's very automated, and my background's all software, so that's really helped us scale that. And now moving more into development. So while my wife concentrates on running the service accommodation business and the day-to-day work, I concentrate on expanding and growing the business and on the development side.
Fantastic. Well done for all you've achieved. You mentioned that you left corporate life in 2015. I'm sure that was quite a significant decision to make, and I'm sure you had to do quite a bit of planning in order to take that step. Could you talk us a little bit through that process?
Yeah, so in corporate life, I used to work from home quite a bit, but obviously working from home was permanently is a big change. Then working with your wife or partner is another big change. So we've got desks that are opposite each other, and we enjoy that aspect of working together. So that's really good. I also moved to a position that in corporate life, maybe 50% of my time, I would choose what to do and select what to do, and the other half I would need to be in meetings or go and see people. Now it's 99% of my time is my own, and I decide what to do, how to do it, who to do it with. So that determines a certain amount of discipline. You need to be quite motivated. You need to have a plan. You need to have goals. You need to know where you're going. So it's a different mindset, but so much of what I've done in corporate life and learnt in corporate life is transferable, has been transferable to properties, which has been really good.
Indeed. So when you decided to leave corporate life, had you set a goal of how much net income you were achieving from your portfolio before you gave up the security of having an income? I'm really trying to dig down on what was that trigger point for you to say, okay, we're going to jump in, into the full time into property. Yeah. What was that trigger point for you?
So the trigger point, so the company I was working for bought another company, and I could see a route out, so I could take early retirement. Oh, okay. So that was really good timing for us. But I'd always been manoeuvring for that opportunity. So that was great when it came along. In terms of income, our income from property was always already at a level that was closely matching my corporate salary. Okay. So it wasn't such a big jump. I was cognizant of lending and being able to obtain lending, and I know now if you've got all your income purely from property, getting lending can be a problem. So I don't have that so much of a problem, but I would certainly caution people who are thinking of leaving full-time employment that some lenders don't like all your income coming purely from property, so that can narrow the number of lenders down. So that's an important consideration. But I would advise people to go into property, to do it alongside a corporate job. It's absolutely, or any other employment, it's absolutely possible to do that, and that would be my advice. And I would only leave your employment if you had built up your property income to a level that could sustain you, or you had such confidence to do it.
No, I totally agree. And that whole, you often see in some of these training courses and property gurus that they're encouraging people to leave their jobs and go into property full time. I think it can take years to achieve that, for the very reason you've said, that if you give up your income, you may struggle to get finance, and then it's very difficult to grow a portfolio. So I think you've given some fantastic advice there, to say, build up the income first and, plan it all out. It's interesting you've come to a training day today. Are you of the opinion that as a portfolio landlord, you should be constantly looking to raise your game, raise your knowledge, keep just pushing that little bit further?
Absolutely. So there's some great people in the industry who share their knowledge, and John today has been a really shining example of that. There's always more to learn. No one's finished, and nobody knows it all. And so there's benefit today from hearing what John's doing and actually doing day to day, and big deals. He's working on some really big and exciting deals, but also you learn from the others around you. So I try and continually increase my education by going to different courses, meeting different people. And in actual fact, I do run a St Albans Property Hub meeting as well. So the Property Hub in St Albans, so that sort of helps as well. So networking is really good. Continuing education. And education can be classrooms, but it can also be reading books, reading magazines, going on to online forums like your own. There's many different ways. There's such a richness of information that you don't necessarily need to attend formal courses, although I think there is a place for them as well.
Indeed. No, I think you're absolutely right. There is so many different ways to learn, and everybody can find the way that they like to learn the best, the way that they can assimilate information. I guess just to finish then, you're obviously looking to build your portfolio further, you're raising your property game. Clearly, people are saying, buy-to-let's dead, the property market's in decline, there's Brexit stagnation. We just hear something negative literally every day. You're obviously just carrying on, moving forwards. You feel confident about property, actually, as a fundamental thing that's a good investment. And that's indeed what John said today, wasn't it?
It was, absolutely. So in terms of a vehicle to build wealth, I believe property is still a really good vehicle to do that. So long-term wealth, absolutely. Is there nervousness? Is there change? Absolutely. And there will always be change going on. And it's about your ability to adapt, understand the change, understand how that then impacts your analysis of any deals or purchases that you're doing. So I think nothing is going to stay the same. And I think, there are concerns and worries, and you need to build that in just the same way as any interest rate changes, any tax changes, any law changes. It's just part of the rich mixture, which in actual fact I think makes property very interesting. So you can be scared by it, but what you've got to do is embrace it, understand it, and make your own changes and analysis.
No, I totally agree. And you've spent a whole day here with John Howard today. What is, you think, the number one tip that you'll take away from the John Howard Educational Day that you can share with Property Tribes members?
So for me, it was about the work he does on very big deals with building surveyors, quantity surveyors, and financing. That for me was really valuable, because John's got well over 30 years experience. He really shares his knowledge, and it's been extremely valuable for me, and I think everybody, and I know everybody else in the course as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights on Property Tribes Portfolio Landlords Week. It's been really lovely to talk to you, and good luck with all your property projects.
And thanks for all that you do on Property Tribes as well. So it's a fantastic site, and you do so well, such good work, and so my thanks for that as well.
It's very kind. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.